Hey, what's going on? I don't know. I called that other number and it was some other girl, but I don't know. I was like, oh God, who's this?
It's 1833.
Yeah, I was wanting to get so there's no way to get Kimberly out of jail, is it? That sucks, because I was like...
No, she had a lawsuit that was going to get around in the drug court on April 6th, but they, Tim screwed that up as far as I know, last I heard.
She was trying to get into drug court?
Yeah, she was going to, yeah. Hang on one second, hold on one second. Hey, Mika, this was across the parking lot. Will you put that in the trash and put the buggy up? She had talked to Lee Owens, and her daddy had hired Eric Gay to go out there and find out what was going on, blah, blah, blah. He said that he would, out of court, would take 4,000, go into court, he would take 10.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, she's got 7 felonies against her, I mean.
Oh, my
anyway,
God.
So, sorry, I'm trying to walk to my car. I've been at work all day long. So they told her that he could probably get her out into drug court. So they called Lee Owens up there to the courthouse or the jail to talk to her.
You there? Hello. I can't...
Hang on this. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Anyways, while he was gone doing his thing, I guess, now I don't know this for sure. I didn't hear this from nobody, but I heard it word through the grapevine that because Tim's in drug court and he's pissed off with her and this, that, and the other, that he told Lee Owens a bunch of bad shit about her or something, and so now he's second-guessing getting her out and putting her through drug court, but...
Jesus, man.
He's a snake in the fucking grass. He talks a good game to all these girls, and he really had me. I never liked the boy because when my daughter was 14 years old, he was sleeping with her. He was much older than her, and he was sleeping with her already, and just supplying her with dope and keeping her in fights with other girls, and it was just bullshit every time you turn around. So I, never cared to meet him or get to know him. Well, then when Kimberly called me this last time, she's like, Mama, look, it's a different situation. We're both clean. So I said, okay, well, since you're going to be living with him and, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and try to get to know him. Well, he talked a damn good game and had me believing that, it was Kimberly.
He'll have you hating.
Yeah,
he's charming. Yeah.
He had me thinking that Kimberly was the one doing all the lying and that his mama was seeing her here. And I don't doubt some of what he said. I do not doubt. I'm not saying that he's completely lying. But I think he exaggerated a lot of shit. I think he does a lot of talking shit behind Kimberly's back. And then when it come out of that probation officer's mouth, to me, it just confirmed everything that Kimberly had been telling me about it. See, I'm one of those ones that even if you're my daughter telling me, I'm seeing is believing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, and I know this about Tim, so I don't really... He talked shit about you. He told us that...
He told me, I asked him how he got that trailer. He told me that he swindled you out of it, that he just uses you because he gets jobs and then gets you jobs and it kind of works back and forth, and that if he needs anything, you're right there to do it, and that trailer and blah, 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 blah. Does the trailer belong to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he made it out like he was going to swindle you out of that trailer, suing you or doing some shit. And then he tried to turn around and say that the suing part he learned from you, that you're all about going out and getting people this way and then suing. I mean, he just talked all kind of shit about you.
Yeah, I can see that.
He always told Kimberly, don't believe nothing that motherfucker says, because he'll try to tell you that I'm doing all this and doing all that, and I ain't doing none of that.
I never have done that, though. I never told people about the stuff he does. about the girls. I just always thought the girls were so stupid for fucking around with him.
Right.
I mean, like, I just always thought.
Really and truly, and they are. They are.
Yeah.
Well, I say this. They're not to begin with, but once a cheater, always a cheater. Look, my last relationship of 16 years that I just left in February, we're still friends, and I let bygones be bygones. And for years, I knew that he was cheating on me, and I accepted it. You know what I'm saying? Don't put it in my face. Don't bring it around me. Don't make me look like a fool. And your ass better come home to me every night and bring the money home to me. You know what I mean? But then, you know, as I got older, I realized what I wanted in life, and I put my foot down. I don't hate him. We're still friends. He still visits with my grandson because that's his Bobby. But they're not stupid to begin with because he's a good talker.
Yeah. I knew every time I go around them workers or his cousins or his family, they always look at me like I did something wrong to them. Like, why are these people not like me? But then I put it together because he talks so bad about me to them.
Yeah.
And that's what he's constantly wanting to control how people see other people. So he'll talk bad about me to Kimberly. She's a fuck up. She messing with black boys. She's on dope. She's driving around in a dope man's car. She's a fuck up. She's bad, whatever. But I always knew that he was talking about me to all his girls, to all his people, to Jessica, to all of them. And now I'm starting to see a lot of them aren't wanting to be on the show and cooperate because he's probably telling them not to. And so he's anticipating me finding out.
Yeah, I mean, he just, and I don't give a shit. It's like I told him, and like my ex-old man told me to pass word on to him because he knows how I am. You know, I know Tim could probably overpower me by all means, but you better ask Kimberly. I walk up and hit that motherfucker dead in his mouth. Don't give a damn if I get my ass beat or not, but he better know that I tack on a good game when I come. I ain't no pussy, and I ain't claiming to be no Billy Joe badass neither, because, you know, I can be overpowered by a man, but don't think I'm stupid. I know how to pick and choose my battles, and they, in my book, they ain't no such thing as no fair fight. So if I sucker punch your motherfucking ass to get you to the ground, bitch, that's what's gonna happen. You know, and he done vote with the wrong one. I wasn't in it to begin with. It only was about him and my daughter. But when he brought me in this shit and started talking smack about me, and my grandson and shit, no, bitch, you done fucked up now. I mean, I don't play like that. What does
he, now he talks about this one he's with now like she's crazy, but...
No, she's when I talk to her, I don't know her, but I know where she comes from. I know her people that she comes from. She comes from a very prominent name, and she comes from a very prominent family. They're very church-oriented, family-oriented. She's just an all-around good girl. You know, she's young right now, and she's, you know, hanging out with her friends. She's been, you know, kind of a preppy type. And he got with her and got her pregnant right off the bat, and every time he turned around, you know, he was telling her some bullshit, and she's just bewildered by it because he keeps her at that. The only reason why he wants a female is to cook, clean, and take care of them damn kids. And like I told him, I said, you're the biggest piece of shit for bringing different women in and out them kids' lives. All them kids long for is a fucking mother figure. And guess what? When they grow up, every one of them's going to have fucking mommy issues. You want to know why? Because of all the women that you bring in and out their lives. You bring them in there, and you let the kids fall in love with them, and then when you and the girl have a falling out, then they don't never fucking see them again. You can't tell me these kids don't get attached to these girls.
Well, another thing is, aside from the kids, I noticed when he first gets the girl, he likes them. Then after a month, not really. Yeah, and he just goes. He does that cycle with all of them.
Yeah,
and at the end,
fucking abusive.
Yeah, and then at the end, they're all not confident. They're broken up. They're longing for him. He just fucks their head up, and I'm like, damn, you think they would tighten up, you know, and learn?
But, you know, I called this girl, and I told her from the get-go, I said, listen, I am not calling you to split y'all up. I am not calling you to tell you to leave him. I'm not calling you, I'm not telling you to do anything. I am merely calling you so that you can hear it from somebody that is telling the truth. And when I tell you I'm 44 years old, I have no reason to lie. I will tell you the good on the bad on my daughter. I will tell you the good and the bad. And I will only tell you things that I know without a shadow of a doubt. I'm not going to tell you what my daughter's come back and told me, and I think that it's true. I'm going to tell you what I know. And I did, and I told her, and she said, well, I appreciate it, this. And then she texted me later on that night on Messenger and told me, I hope you're happy. Me and Tim are split up, this, and this. And then she blocked me. Which was fine because I didn't have no, and he did the same thing. But yeah, I mean, he's ridiculous.
They do. Him and her have gotten some bad fights, and he acts like he don't care if she leaves now. But
I mean, he don't because she's so immature.
Yeah, but my thing though, I always knew he did that with the girls. I thought it was dramatic. I thought it was good for a reality show. And he ain't
that cute. I mean, everybody's got their own taste, but he ain't that cute. And from what Kimberly says, he ain't all that in bed neither.
Well, but another thing is too about with the guy. And I know he talks so bad about me to all those workers, and it hurts me because a lot of times they don't want to work with me or they look at me like I'm this whatever person. And then he's talked bad to me to a client and lied on me and actually lost me a roof one time. Says he didn't, but now after what he did to Kimberly, I'm like, oh God. Now I'm like,
I'm sure he did. Was it over in Donaldsonville?
No, it was one in Veda I was wondering about, but I don't know now.
I mean, it is what it is, and his day, like I told him, your day's coming. Your day is coming. Best believe that.
Did he ever say anything about the... I'm interested, though. I knew that's why I wanted your number, because I knew you would know something he's probably said about me or had up his sleeves. One, he rents the house. And then but go on, just tell me. Spill it out.
He said, I mean, from what I can't remember exact words because it's been a minute, but some of the things that he said about you was that you're germophobic and you're very weird and you're kind of a loner, don't have a whole lot of friends. Right. Nobody really cares for you. Right. That's why you hang around him. And he uses you pretty much. There was something going on. Either you were doing some kind of work and would get him the job, or, or whatever, would kind of get him to work to follow him behind it, was helping him out. Then that trailer come along, and he said that this is what I remember him saying. He said that you were bad about going out, like if you were on a job or something, you found out that the people had homeowners insurance or whatever, you would go out there and like deliberately get hurt and sue them.
What?
And yes, he said that you had done that to like 4 or 5 people. Well, he said that he picked up on it, how you were doing it, and so he planned to do the same thing to you about that trailer. And so, all kind of shit, He supposedly had that Ashley, the mama of the kids, while she was staying there, he supposedly had her checking into shit and trying to find out if you had insurance or whatever, and blah, 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 blah. Kimberly said she wasn't ever going to fuck with it because, one, she wasn't supposed to be there. They wasn't supposed to be around each other. And that's probably another reason why she didn't want to be on camera, because it just incriminated her,
What did I don't know why I've never filed a home insurance claim on anybody.
I don't know.
I wonder.
Because he lies.
I've never been hurt on a job and done anything like that.
He lies. But I swear to you, he said that.
Was he thinking about home insurance, me getting their home insurance from Hurricane Michael to pay for the job? Was it the nonprofits that were paying me?
I don't know. I don't really remember how that conversation come about, so I can't really. I just remember him saying that. It could have been, this is back when Kimberly first got out of prison,
But they were doing the show then. Did he ever say anything about the show? Did he ever say anything about that at all?
The only thing that I ever heard about the show was from Kimberly, and that you were going to be there. You were there right when she come out of jail with cameras all in her face.
Right.
And it was basically just like a reality show about him and her and the drugs and being in prison and this, that, and the other. And then I didn't hear anything else about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he got that wrong. When he said that lie, he should at least not said something that was not so far out left field.
Right, yeah. What was the show about?
It was about the rental houses, the rental type of people that rent from you, the construction crew, the people around Tim that, they're in drugs, his drama, their drama, them going in and out of prison.
And see, that's another thing. He gets with these girls that are so not weak-minded to begin with, but more or less vulnerable, like Ashley. Ashley needed a place to stay, and her kids were there. It was convenient for her to stay there and take care of the kids, and for him to have a babysitter. Then come Kimberly, or that Jessica girl, same goes for her.
Yeah.
And then come Kimberly, she was getting out of prison, needed a place to stay, which I do believe that he loves Kimberly somewhere deep down inside. I believe they're infatuated with one another. And I believe that it's like that because they've been together for so damn long. Something becomes normal in life, and when it's gone, you always want what you can't
Well,
have.
I'll say this. He did always call her on the job, and I thought, if he can't stay with her, he's never going to be able to do right by anybody. And now I don't know that he will. I don't know that he'll ever be able to do right. He don't like Ashley. He's repulsed by him after a while. I think it's an addictive personality where he gets tired after the new rush is gone. He can't maintain a relationship.
That's exactly what it is.
And right
after
now,
the new wears off, he's promiscuous.
And then there's another thing where he's on the. He's off the drugs right now. He'll be back on. But the drama, and Jessica said he gets that from his mom, talks about people. Constantly talking and playing games.
That's another thing. Her and his sister. Like, I met his mama. I'm thinking, okay, an older lady, she don't get involved with the drama, this, that, and the other. Well, she was coming back. There was word coming back to the dollar store, and I guess it was, she come in there one day, but it was telling me that Kimberly was leaving the house at lunchtime before she would go get the kids, and she was going to Climax over there and this, that, and the other. I was just hearing different things, but it was basically coming from her and his sister and some people that she hung around but I wasn't hearing it from them. Well, I met his mama over there at his place, and I'm thinking, her, the way she acts just don't rub me that way. Well, then Kimberly was at my house one day, and had come over to my house, and she said, see, this is what I'm talking about. Ugh. And I said, what? She said, let me go. I said, what is it? And she said, Tim's mama's posting shit on Facebook saying that I need to take her truck back home or something, saying I'm in Climax. I said, well, call the motherfucker. I'll tell him you're right here. No, because he thinks you lie for me. I said, well, then don't worry about it, Kimberly. That shit right there that you're letting get to you, and you shouldn't even worry. You should look that motherfucker in his face and say, if you don't trust me enough to believe me, if you're going to believe your mama over me, then we don't need to be together, period. I come first, bitch, and she never did. She would always fall to him and go to him and this and that. But it's all because of what she needed in her life at the time.
Yeah. Well, it's
but his mother's the same way. She's a gossiper. God, she talked about you.
What'd she say about me? Please tell me. I know she talks bad about me.
She didn't really get into depth like he did, but she just said that she basically, what she was saying was that you were a loner and you didn't have a lot of friends, and that if it wasn't for Tim, that you wouldn't have half the friends or the workers that you had, and that was basically it, that she just agreed. That conversation, there wasn't never nothing talked about the insurance or nothing like that around her, but now she wasn't there for a whole long period of time. I will tell you this, her husband was outside of the truck when all of this was, when the gossiping or whatever was going on, this, that, and the other. his head at her and told her that she needed to stay out of it, and that she knew how her son was, or whatever, how Tim was, and he turned around and got in the truck, said he wasn't having no part in it. So he knows. You know what I'm saying? He probably gets sick of hearing the shit too.
Yeah.
So I take it as he's somewhat a decent man, but his day's coming.
So when she was talking about me, his mom was talking about me, the dad just kind of shook his head like, oh, come on, chill out, the stepdad, whatever. So that lets me know they talk about me a lot. But see, I don't mind him saying I'm a loner and how much rent. It's true, I got a lot of my workers through him. I don't think he realized, he thought he was getting over on me because I pay him more than any other contractors, or I did before he started getting his own work here recently. But I always paid him more, but he always would work less time with me. But I still appreciate it. He was the best worker I had for a while, and kind of still is in a way if he helped me. But so even though you told me all this, like I say, he was a good worker. But the thing is, I had a falling out with this girl that would cut my hair that I was friends with. Well, he went over there one day and she was bitter at me, and so she just went to telling him all kind of stuff. What she knew, and me and her had talked, I says, I hope he didn't get the roof from me and Veda. I hope he didn't get the roof from me and Veda. And so she told him that, and he says, hey, why do you think I would do that? I don't do stuff like that. So he may have, he may not. From what you're telling me, the way he talked about me, I never would expect that. I just knew he talked about me. I just, because when I'm around.
He laughed about you. Come on, Kitty.
Yeah.
He laughed about you. He talked about how, that motherfucker thinks he's something when he's around me. And he would say he was laughing, and he was talking about, he was telling Kimberly, he was like, yeah, and I'd be boosting him up, making him think he's big dog, this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, this.
He never boosts me up. But I know that's all part of the method. And see, what it is he'll talk bad about the other guys, the cousins and the workers to me.
Yeah.
But he tries to keep in my good graces to my face, so he thought he was using me the whole time.
Yeah.
But I think that girl, though, I think that girl told him, because I would tell her how much I would make in a month. Maybe get where you can hear me. But she would get where she would, I think she ended up telling him how much I was making some of those months. And he started to get resentful, I think, towards me now. I think he's pissed off. And then I was buying a house. And I always, in the back of my mind...
Yeah, there was something about that, too. Something about that. Damn, hang on. Damn, what was he saying about that? Shit, there was something else about that, too. I can't remember what it was.
Please remember. Okay. But anyway, I can't concentrate right now, the dogs. But, yeah, I'll let you get them. I'll let you get them.
They don't damn. Shut up. Go, out. You big dummy, walk your ass around the damn clothes hamper right there. Look, get down, look. You act like you all blocked in and you could have walked around the clothes hamper, you dummy. Do what now?
So I'm sitting there, and there's this house from this guy, and he kept trying to make me and everybody feel bad. He's about to take that man's house. Well, the guy was in foreclosure. He's going to lose it anyway. So I bought it, but the guy confronted me one day and said somebody I knew offered him and said, I'll pay you $10,000 more than Andy's paying.
That was him.
That was probably him. And so...
Did it have a small apartment or a garage or something on to the side of it?
No, I don't...
Where was the house at?
It was in Bainbridge.
Did y'all do work to it or something? I remember something about you buying a house, and he was talking about it.
What'd he say? Well, what'd he say about it?
I can't remember what it was. And for some reason, it's triggering me that y'all started off doing work to the house or something, and then you were going to buy it, but you were going to swindle the man out of it, and he went in behind you and did the work, and I may be wrong, though, Andy. I can't remember really on the house, but I do remember without a shadow of a doubt something about you buying a house.
All right, so then
I thought he was talking about a garage or an apartment or something that y'all were doing the work to.
So then I'll try to trigger my head and try to see. But yes, so we were, he kept telling everybody, oh, you piece of shit. But really, if he'd have bought it, it'd been fine. If he'd have went behind me and bought it, he wasn't a piece of shit for buying it from the guy, but I would have been.
Right.
So that's how he operates. I know that. So, and that's shitty. It is. That's some shitty stuff. And
Yeah.
so then we continue forward, and he finds out. I finally tell him I'm getting the house, and I keep worrying. I'm worried sick that Tim's trying to get from behind me. I end up closing and getting the house, but the girl told him, and see, Tim thought he was playing me because I was paying him more than what Marcus Breeden does. He's like, well, he can't be making no money, and there was times I didn't, but there was times I'd make about $50,000 a month, and I might have paid Tim $1,400 of that. So he never, and I always knew that Tim was manipulative. I knew that for a while, and I knew that he always thought he was fucking me and dragging me, and I was lame, and he was just, I was just whatever. I always knew that, but I got so much more out of him, but I always wanted him to think
that you were dumb.
That I was a dumbass, that I was goofy, but I always used to tell his brother, and I told all of them this that thought they were so street smart. I said, if y'all was smarter than me, y'all'd be where I'm at, and I'd be where y'all are at.
Yeah.
Don't ever think y'all are. I tell Danny, I tell all, I says, I know what y'all do. Y'all ride the clock. Y'all fuck more stuff up, so I got to pay y'all to fix it. I says, all I'm going to do is fire y'all and quit messing with y'all. Now, I could keep Tim pretty accountable, but he would know the right way to do stuff sometimes, and he would do it all right except for where the customer could see it, and he'd kind of like do this. I'd say, why'd you do that? And he'd say, man, it don't fucking matter. I'm like, nah, that's the kind of stuff that's going to get them not want to pay as much.
Reputation. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he would talk about I do shitty work, or he's got me doing this dumb shit. You know, I knew all that. I know he thinks I'm lame. He always says he ain't got no friends, and, you know, his family don't even like him and all this shit. So he says that, but I'm so comfortable in my own skin, I'm like, I see the bigger picture. Yeah, and I see the bigger picture.
That's how I am towards him.
So I just take it for what it's worth, because when I need him, I need him.
Yeah.
So now he's got all these vehicles I had from Albany. We took them and set them at his house. Well, I went and got some the other day, and he kind of got, he's upset, but he clouds it in sarcasm with me, and I get that. But there was another thing where a girl, she said, hey, this girl wants to sell her car. She'll sell it for $1,300. Well, he kept beating around the bush. I just went straight to the girl. I said, how much you want? She said $1,000. I told Tim that $1,000. So I got it for $1,000, and I set it over at his house because he went and hauled it for me. Well, he was mad about that. Well, then he was saying, hey, she wants her car back. How much you want for it? Just tell me. I'm like, what? He's like, she's got about $20,000 she got from taxes. I said, well, I ain't going to sell her back for what she's wanting it for, $1,000. I said, I'll just fix it up. He said, man, come on, man. You ain't going to do nothing with it. I knew right then he'd probably figure out what was wrong, and he was really just trying to get it for himself, and he's going to give me a sign of title and whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm privy to all of that. And like I said, now it's gotten to the point where I don't have jobs anymore. He ain't really benefiting me. And I'm almost wondering, there's one house the code enforcer got called. Now, he blamed it on Eugene Sanders, and I could see him calling the code enforcement on us. But I'm almost... But since the more you tell me and all that, I'm starting to kind of think that he called the code enforcement and get us shut down on that house.
Well, I'm telling you, Kimberly used to always tell me that he was not a paid informant, but that he was an informant to the law, and that Gina Reynolds was the one that set him up to it. Now, I know for a fact, I've been good friends with Gina Reynolds' mom for 20 some odd years.
Yeah, she's an informant, big one. People ought to learn not to do drugs around here, you would think, in the drug community. They just quit messing with it.
Gina's name has been in paperwork, has been in court transcripts as a paid informant. So, therefore, with that being said, we all know that she is. Now, I've never seen Tim's name in paperwork, but Kimberly used to always tell me that Gina's the one, that he had fucked up a couple of times here and there, and that Gina was helping him on his jobs, and she was the one that was like, listen, I can get you out of it, this is what you got to do, blah, blah, blah. And he got turned on about. Well, I would take it with a grain of salt coming from Kimberly, because that's with anybody. Like when back in 1999, I got charged with possession of methamphetamine. I was arrested with some people that had been cooking for 3 days, and I hadn't been around them. The law knew that because they were watching them out of a shed behind the thing. But when they busted them, I had been with them for an hour. They had just come and got me, took me back out there, and when we pulled up in the driveway, they come out of the woodworks, and they arrested me. I walked away from it. One, because the law legitimately knew I hadn't been there. They had aerial pictures with a drone. They had other pictures, videos, this, that, and other. They knew I was no part of it. But I just happened to be there when they got arrested, so I went down with them. Well, everybody tried to claim I was a narc, this, that, and other. It bothered me. So I went all the way to Thomasville, paid $600 and something to get this thick-ass shit of paper of my court transcripts to be, typed it all out to where it was, like in plain English, because they shorthand on transcripts. So she typed it all out for me. And I carried that shit around with me for a couple, 2 or 3 years, because people were saying I was a narc because I walked away with it. So I take that shit with a grain of salt when somebody says that about somebody, because
why did Tim do that to Kimberly? Was it because
I believe
the screenshots, or she wouldn't sleep with him? He told me he was over in Donaldsonville doing work. Now he's banished from there.
I believe that he was supplying Kimberly with some of the ingredients that it took to cook the dope. And I think that was his way. So she started leaving Tim alone and started messing with this guy named Kyle over in Wiggle. And he's a good guy. He's an ex-drug. He just got out of prison, but he's, flying right. He's a big old fella, 6 foot something, 300 something pounds. I mean, he's just a good, big old guy. Anyways, and so when she first, the newness with Kimberly is the same way with Tim. She's the same way. She was with Kyle, so she wasn't even studying Tim. Well, he picked up on it, and I think Tim's way of getting back in with Kimberly was, let me supply you with some of the stuff, get started cooking dope, because Tim knows that Kimberly can cook some good dope. She always has been able to do it. Everybody's always talked about it. Ain't nothing to be proud of, but I'm just saying, that's how it is. Well, and not only that, he would go over there to the cotton gin and leave stuff on her car and just, different shit. And I think it was all out of jealousy. Well, when she kind of put her foot down, look here, motherfucker, I'm not, I got somebody, I don't need you. He retaliated. He got pissed off. And his only way to hurt her, he couldn't emotionally hurt her at the time, so he had to physically. You've always heard that saying, negative attention is better than no attention at all.
Yeah.
So
let me ask you this. Yeah, and that's one thing I just don't delve with drugs. And he's always told me, there's an old business partner I had that was real. This music playing in the background. Anyway, the guy is just like Tim, manipulative, but he's you can't even do business with him because the guy's just, he's got to be winning 75-25 for him to want to be your friend. So anyway, Tim's made comments. He says, boy, they'd love to bury you up under the jail. Now, I've never been arrested. I don't do anything. But it lets me know he talks with them enough to know how they are. Yeah. And I'm eerie about him. Though he wanted to buy the place he's in now, the Judith Drive place. He said, well, since you got that house from that guy, let me buy this one. He made me an offer for $50,000. Well, that's a 5-bedroom, 3, and it may be a mobile home, but them things are going for a lot. I said, well, real estate's higher than I've ever seen it. I said, I could probably get $115 for it. I said, but 85. He said, 85? Are you crazy? This place is such a piece of shit. It needs so much work. So he's just dogging it. And
you can do a trailer up.
Yeah. Now, he said he's got everybody mad at me for that now. Another thing is I always wonder if he's trying to do something with sabotage the reality series and stuff like that. I'm always thinking he's trying to do that too, but Kimberly might or may not know about that. So Jessica left me high and dry on the rent, and she's living in Seminole County. I think I'm going to service and sue her for the unpaid rent because she's not answering my phone calls at all. So I know Tim's talking to her.
How many places you got?
No. She's living with her boyfriend in Seminole County, but he's just reaching out to people, telling them not to mess with me, and he's got mind control over so many of them. And another thing is on that same onus, what I was about to tell you about him and Kimberly, he shouldn't have done that. Yes, she shouldn't have been doing any drugs, and he shouldn't have she shouldn't have been doing that, but.
Right. Well,
But listen to me. You know, he's banished from there for the next 13 years on probation. He violates every time he goes into Seminole County.
And does a job.
Has she not thought to do that?
She knows that. Yeah, but let me tell you something about Kimberly.
She won't snitch.
No, she will not. It don't matter. She knows without a shadow of a doubt. Her probation officer sat right there in that jailhouse and told her. Lee Owens sat right there to her face and told her about Tim. She will not switch. You're talking about somebody that ate 2 years and however many years on paper versus snitching somebody out that she didn't give two shits about.
Yeah.
She took care to, give two shits about.
So is Lee Owens his probation officer?
Lee Owens is over drug court. He's the one that handles. He's the one that handles drug court.
So Lee Owens told Kimberly about what Tim has said about her, or what he knows about Tim.
So Lee Owens went and sat and talked to Kimberly because Eric Gay. Her daddy hired Eric Gay, the attorney out of Bainbridge, to go sit down, find out exactly what charges Kimberly had, talk to the district attorney, find out what she was facing, what their intentions were with her, this, that, and other. Yeah. Kimberly does not have a good name when it comes to Mr. Ernest, the judge.
Well, Tim don't either, right? He said Craig Ernest don't like him.
Yeah. Craig Ernest, but he used to, because Kimberly fights back and won't snitch, and so he used to be the district attorney, he's now the judge. Well, I've been fighting Kimberly a drug addiction since she was 12 years old, and in and out of probation, juvenile probation, over there in Seminole County. Anyway, so he went and talked to her, and Lee Owens did, and he talked to Eric Gay, and he told Eric Gay that, chances are that he would let her get out in drug court, that he just needed to sit down with the district attorney, talk over a few more things, because come here, she had that gun charge on her, and one thing about drug court is you can't have a violent charge against you. So he needed to know how that was going to play out, this, and this. Somewhere down the line, Kim brought it up that this was her second gun charge. They probably would have found that out somewhere down the line, but he just kind of helped things along, and he went and talked to Lee Owens behind her back. Well, how this was told to me was by her probation officer in Dawsonville. So me and them they probably tell me a little bit more than what they should because Lee's an adult now. But I've dealt with them for so long, and I know them, almost on a personal basis that they do tell me. And she personally told me that there were several phone calls coming in, anonymous, on Kimberly, and that she had questioned Kimberly about it, but that's the furthest she can take it. Piss her and question her about it. She pisses clean, and everything else plays by the book. She can't really do anything about it. So apparently the calls were still coming in, and she finally told whoever, look, don't call back if you're not going to give your name or some definite proof, something that I can go on. You're wasting my time. Don't call back. Well, apparently that's when Tim stepped in, and I guess he thought that she was going to keep his name anonymous. I don't know that she ever told him she was, but she told me on the phone that has Kimberly sat down and thought long and hard that if she is awarded to get out in drug court, that he as well is in drug court, and does she think that she can face not only, drug court, dealing with drug court and the stress about it, but dealing with the emotional attachment and the drama with him being in the same, class and all this and those.
I thought it was a Bainbridge. But I thought he was in the Decatur County one.
No, he's over the Blakely one.
Who? Tim's in the Blakely one?
Yeah. The Lee Owens guy, he's over the Seminole County and Blakely one.
Well, why is Tim? I thought Tim was living in Decatur. He goes to court in Decatur County every other Wednesday.
No, I mean, they have it in Bainbridge, and then they have it in Seminole County. Now, she might be going, Lee Owens is still the one that deals with it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He's still the one that's over it. But
So basically, let me get the point. If Kimberly had told Lee Owens and them that Tim had been over there doing jobs, violating his probation, that would have been bad for Tim, right?
Yeah. Now, she's got to have proof,
Yeah.
Don't think that they don't know that Tim and Kimberly have history and that it's tit for tat. And if Tim's already going to him saying stuff about Kimberly, then you got to know that they would think that she would just be a disgruntled ex.
Let me ask you this, because I've got to really watch Tim close, because I think he might be doing something real, because the camera people have deliberately backed out on me the past 7 times.
Really?
Yeah, and they always light up when they see Tim like something's going on, and so what you're telling me is starting to confirm.
He might have them thinking that you're going to sue them or something, or set them up.
No, but I could see them colluding together, but I've got witnesses that've seen him break probation on the job that would be willing to testify against
Kimberly's
him.
Got pictures. Kimberly's got pictures of him.
I've got videos and pictures of him over on a job in my phone in Seminole County. And I was wanting to know what would be the thing if I found that he's betrayed me. I would like to act on that.
All you gotta do is go to Seminole County and go to the clerk of court and find out, or go to the sheriff's department over there and find out. They'll either ring his phone or give you a cell number, and you'll just contact him and let him know who you are and what's going on. I wouldn't call him and tell him, hey, I'm trying to get back at him, but I would tell him, what I would tell him was, hey, I'm a contractor, I've always had good jobs, this, that, and the other, brought Tim in to help me. He's always been a good worker, but something happened somewhere down the line, and he started, not underbidding me, but talking to my clients, and has kind of ruined my reputation. And in return, I want you to know that he's doing these jobs,
Yeah.
And I wouldn't approach it as, I'm trying to get revenge. I would just kind of approach it as,
Let me ask you this, because my phones have been acting weird lately. And I know Gina, because her cousin kind of spilled the beans. I know they know how to tap phones and stuff in that drug addict community. But what's the deal that you know about that? Because he's called me a bunch today ever since I called you or hit you up on Messenger.
Ever since him and I have had problems on Messenger, and all I can do is block them. I bought an app on my phone. I pay $9.99 a month. But ever since him and I have had it out on Messenger, he put a spiff on my phone. So it's a number that you call, and you can enter in phone numbers. You can enter in IP addresses or whatever. And what it does is it puts out a fake robocall to these phones, and every time the phone blocks a number or tries to back out of it or whatever, it'll get another text line or a text number and call it again. But